Oh, okay, yeah, you can do that.
I'm doing it now.
Boom. See who are these people.
This dude, Gabe Brown, won't show up.
Well, Gabe is a little wacky. I would even have to say.
He's scared shit.
Smart guy, but he's wacky.
He's scared shit.
I don't know if anyone's scared of you. They're probably, frankly, disgusted
Like,
with your constant dishonesty and.
Well, they're disgusted because they know I'm going to destroy their cult, which is not fun for anybody. I mean, you know, you don't like your cult destroyed. Nobody likes their cult destroyed.
Joe wants to get in. Hold on, Mr. Enders. He just said.
Nobody likes their cult destroyed.
Yeah, but you don't really destroy anything. If you could destroy it, you would. You're in the biggest cult of all. Where?
I destroy the cult. I destroy your cult every day.
Well, I mean, that's your own self cult of I destroyed the cult. You know, it's kind of a little celebratory, self-celebratory thing.
You don't have anything left.
Well, yeah, I do. I have bad points on my side, perhaps, but you don't point those out. You point out kind of just made up stuff. Hold on, get Joe Enders in on this.
I don't know how. I just shared it. He could just click on it and enter.
Okay.
I can't. He's not on my. He's not on my Google contacts list.
Okay, hold on.
You can just click on the page.
Yeah.
Enders is brain dead though. This is not going to be fun for me.
He's a little brain dead, but I mean, hey, we'll see. If anyone's a little more cultish, it's him, but not me. You know, I'm a free thinker.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You're definitely not a free thinker.
He's got. I mean, you know, he's not quite fully awake to the 9/11 truth, and you know, a little awake, not fully awake at all.
You're not awake on it either. You blame Muslims.
Yeah, I am. There's nothing I'm really wrong on, or you know, I just we have the same facts, just you have a different interpretation. Usually, just a dishonest.
Where is he?
I don't know. I just told him, so he's finger banging that hot little princess.
I want to know how I add my contacts from Google. They got to make this a lot easier. I'm trying to see how I add my contacts from Google Plus because I got a lot of activists I know on Google Plus.
I am not sure. No sé, cabrón. No sé, puto.
The Roldan Rumble on air.
The Roldan Rumble. See, I named it after you. I'm a nice guy.
Okay.
Taking out the garbage with Danny Roldan. That's a good show idea.
Well, this is your event, so you have to add them.
Oh, all right. The fuck.
Invite more. No, I can do it. Invite more. All right, cool.
Oh.
Invite more. Truth. Okay.
Jack, I gotta call. Well, I sent everything to Julian, so Julian's gonna. Yeah. I got it notarized. Yeah, that's done with. All right. All right, bye.
I just added a bunch of people that probably won't show up.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Enders had started now. This dude is fucking. Oh man, he doesn't know how to use this thing.
Has he got problems? I don't know. I'm not very good at it.
He just commented in the event saying "Start it now."
Yeah. You have to start.
You know what? The best way for him to just give me his Gmail, and I can add him as a contact.
Joe Enders at Vatican.com. Here we go. Should have known I was bound to get pulled into some. You little haters are too jealous of us to love us. You hate it. G-Unit made it, and Nobody's coming. B-Twizzy's coming. You're sick to your stomach. 50% of it is 50%.
If I click on this, what does it show?
The other 50% of it, whose color of skin it is, but if you ever even consider it, down, you better find a building to fly. Fucking. Oh no, Greg. Oh, this fucking twit.
Is he in?
Oh, he says he wants to be in. Oh, what a disgusting human being.
Oh, he's the man, dude.
Oh, it's grotesque. Intellectually, physically, always.
You put it at start at 10 p.m., stupid.
I didn't say 10 p.m.
That's what it says on the thing.
Well,
Dieselexplosion at gmail.com is getting poor.
Dieselexplosion at gmail.com. That's a good one.
That dude is fucking poverty stricken.
Diesel explosion.
And people, I can just paste that.
Joe Enders invite. You should get it.
I sent it. I just added him to the hangout.
Better find a building and fly a fucking plane into it. But I ain't trying to get all intricate into it. I'm just trying to give you a little into your own benefit. Because then it's going to get to the point where it escalates. Shit. Then I'm going to get to stomping in my Air Force Ones. Won't be able to tell if it's the Purrs or it's one. System feel like so many feet kicking you. You think like you just made these tennis cleats into shoes. I don't know what it is or what it could be, but I get a Woody when these pussies.
Oh yeah, you guys coming in.
Oh God. Human turd. I mean, I doubt he'll say anything intelligent. Doesn't seem like he usually can. Maybe Joe is Amish and he can't work computers.
I know Greg can.
Yeah, I'm sure. Got hidden cameras looking at kids. Gonna make Joe Enders great again. Yeah?
I added him to the hangout. Hold on.
What's wrong with little Joey? Boy, it escalates into some other shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get to stomping the Air Force Ones.
Where are they all?
What is this guy asking?
Where the fuck did they? So none of them showed up, huh?
I don't know. Joe is messaging me. I'm at 20 minutes now. I just invited you, Joe.
Oh, here's a third. Here's somebody. Who's that?
Greg Hugert, how are you?
Oh, what's up, buddy?
Oof. This
What's going
goofball.
on, pal? You have now entered the Twilight Zone.
This clown.
What, whose basement are you in?
It's his basement, I would guess.
I'm in my dad's house. My car's a mechanic. So I'm hanging out here for a few hours. Doing my laundry. So, yeah, we should just get started without ending. As usual.
I'll work on it. Yeah.
As usual, the Republican of the group, well, the second Republican of the group, doesn't know how to use technology.
I'm not a Republican.
Yeah.
So, hey, but you start with the dishonesty, so hey.
No, Greg, he's not a Republican. He's just a guy that just loves all Republican candidates by
all Republican candidates, so that's untrue. Why are you incapable of telling the truth? It's very weird, very strange. I don't love Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush is a Republican, so that's false. A falsehood.
Well, now you don't like Ted Cruz anymore because...
Well, I like him. It's his supporters who are kind of scary.
Well, the problem is, since you're in a cult, you can only choose one cult at a time. So if you're gonna be in the Trump cult, you can't really also support Cruz at the same time. You don't have that freedom.
I think Cruz would be good. It's just it seems that he's maybe he's co-opted at some. I
know now he's co-opted because you're in the Trump cult.
Well, I'm going by his actions. I don't think that his prior connections would necessarily.
His actions really his actions haven't changed. It's just that now he's campaigning against your cult leader.
He's campaigning, but if he were to support a Trump presidency,
why would he support a Trump presidency when he's running against him? So that's how you run for president. You say, "Hey, I'm running against this guy, but I support him for president." That's not how it works.
Right, but there's a lot of other elements coming out against Trump. So
okay, well, that's his job to campaign against him.
Yeah.
There's not you can't even expect them to tell the truth. That's how political campaigns are run. See, this is what happens when you're this Alex Jones 9/11 truther, but then you jump balls deep into the left-right paradigm, starting to pick and choose your favorite politician. You get caught up in all these stupid little games, and now you contradict yourself.
No, I didn't contradict myself at all.
Months ago, I was having arguments with you about fucking Ted Cruz, and how Ted Cruz is great. You wanted to run the Department of Homeland Security. Now all of a sudden he sucks, and you don't trust who he's running.
I'd like him to run the Homeland Security. I think he might be a good Secretary of State. It's just I don't like.
Well, why would you want somebody who's co-opted to run it? Why would you want someone who's co-opted to be Secretary of State?
Well, I'd like him to be unco-opted.
What makes Ted Cruz? Now, remember, I don't like Ted Cruz, so now I have to sit here and defend him. But what makes Ted Cruz co-opted? Because he's against Donald Trump?
Well, it seems that he's being run by the machine that's against Trump now.
So he's always been run, but nothing's changed as far as his policy is concerned. He's running against Trump. He can't be supporting Trump at the same time.
And I don't like how he's running his campaign against Trump. That's all I'm saying.
That's how. But like I said, you want to involve yourself in the political spectrum and get involved with politicians. Now you have to deal with the games that politicians play. You don't like his campaign against Trump. Who likes to campaign against their favorite politician? Bernie Sanders supporters don't like the way Hillary Clinton runs her campaign against Sanders. She's always bashing Sanders and vice versa. Nobody likes it. So Cruz is supposed to run a campaign against Trump that you like?
Joe here?
I don't understand.
Is Joe here?
Joe here. Yes, Joe's here. What do you think? Who else would you think would be here right now? What do you think? I just joined this group. You think this is some kind of joke? I've been listening to Danny Roldan, the biggest jamoke voice I've ever heard in my life, talk right now, and it's freaking hilarious. It is hilarious. There's nothing funny. I swear to God.
I'm sitting here defending your boy Cruz.
No, you're not.
I heard you, and I actually appreciate that at least a little bit because that's. I mean, I know you're not really defending him, but at least you're, giving it at least a little bit of effort on explaining why Trump is still probably worse. So I mean, yes.
Well, no, he's not.
Yeah. All right.
Well, not.
Oh yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm showing.
I forgot. Your boy Robert Reich is like a super big like. Oh, Cruz is worse than Trump, dude. He made a video and he literally endorsed him. He's like it's a bad thing to have a strict originalist view of the Constitution. I'm like, bro, That's a good thing, man. We need to take that seriously.
I'm not really saying who one's worse than the other. I'm just showing Prescott how he was supporting Cruz months ago, but now since he's in the Trump cult, he can't. Now things are coming out where he's co-opted. And I'm saying how is Cruz co-opted now because he's against Trump? They're running against each other. You can't expect Cruz to say, "Hey, I'm running against Trump. Trump's great. He's going to make a great president, but vote for me." Like they're going to mudsling. That's the way political campaigns run. And if you don't like the mudslinging, don't get involved in politics. That's why I don't have a candidate. I don't get involved in this little charade because who would I pick? You know what I'm saying?
You're right. So, you don't necessarily have to. He's right. I mean, these guys are all in agreement with one another. None of them hate each other. That's a load of crap. They've been working together. All of them, or maybe not Trump, but I mean, all these candidates have been working together before. Obviously, they don't hate one another. They're just mocking because they want to win the election.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I like Ted Cruz, but people don't judge Trump by the same standard that they judge Cruz, and it's his supporters who are a little off.
Well, that's because I can explain that. That's because Trump is new to politics, first of all, and second of all, we have no record of this guy. He just showed up out of nowhere. He's changed his opinion all recently. I mean, how are you going to expect everybody to just jump on the boat right away and trust this guy?
Well,
he just came out of nowhere.
Especially when you just had 8 years of Obama, who Obama's campaign in 2008 or 2007 when he was running, the things that he said have been completely different than what he's done. So now people want to go with a guy like Trump who doesn't have any voting record, saying all these things that he's going to do, but the only thing that you can go by is politicians in the past that don't do what they say. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
that's why Joe has a point. The guy's got no – not only that, but you got to remember, Joe, Trump is a businessman. Like, do you really want a country run as a business? Like,
well, I mean, we've had – who are our last few presidents? They were not only just politicians, but they were just linked up with the CIA. So you've got Trump, who's a businessman, who's a maverick to some extent. So do I want a country run like a business? You want a country run well, not like a business. So that's kind of a weird...
But all the things that you point out about Trump, that you say that because these people are against him, like the Clintons are against him. Meanwhile, he's been friends with the Clintons for decades.
Well,
like,
no, he wasn't friends with the Clintons for decades. He had associations with them, and here's the thing. They are against him now. So...
Well, because they're running against each other for president. This is what you don't understand. This is why politics is a game.
Against them in a very strong fashion, and he's got
because they're opponents for president.
Exactly.
This is why politics is a game.
So they're not friends right now.
Well,
so,
they're friends, but they're running against each other. Look, so think of it as like
I don't think Trump is working with them. If Trump is
even if Trump wasn't working with them, look, you have LeBron James and Kevin Durant. They're friends off the court, but on the court they try to kill each other. They try to win the game. They don't.
Yeah,
they're not saying, "Hey, let's share the championship together."
This is something different, Danny. This looks to be like an actual opposition thing. Now, if it is
everybody wants to win. That's why politics is a game.
I know that. Of course they want to win.
That's what makes Sanders and Trump so popular in their parties, because people are tired of the backstabbing and the politics. They see Sanders, who's kind of like a disheveled old guy who says a lot of cool things, and they see Trump, who's this guy who can't be bought, and he's not a politician, and he tells it like it is. Like, people are tired of the same old politics. Mm-hmm. But yet now, what's going on is they're just still playing the same politics game. Trump is against the Clintons and vice versa. All of a sudden, they're not friends anymore.
Well, I don't think they were ever really close friends. I think they were associates. I don't think they were quite friends. And someone can be friends with someone.
Okay, hold on, John.
Hey, someone can be friends with someone and then not be. It's really easy to be. So, I
don't think those people are that petty when you get to the top like that.
Well, I don't think
not friends no more.
I think it's very.
What did Trump block them? What did Trump block Hillary Clinton on Facebook or something? This is not how it works at that level.
No, but he's bringing up other stuff. Notice how Danny just sort of brings up Facebook. It's kind of good. What did he do?
Because he's donated money to the Clintons in the past.
Yes, he has a case against them.
So you got look. What, like I said, if you want to get involved in the whole, Ted Cruz is my guy, Trump is my guy, Sanders is my guy, Clinton is my. If you want to get involved, in that whole politics charade that we've been dealing with for every 4 years now, then you're going to have to deal with contradicting yourself. You're going to have to deal with, now I don't like Cruz when I liked Cruz before.
Now like Cruz.
You were bashing Rand Paul. Rand Paul sucks. He ran a shitty campaign.
He did. Blah, blah. So what are you arguing about? Rand Paul did run a shitty campaign. So I'm bad.
You were pulling for him like 5 months ago.
Rand Paul could have ran a good campaign, or he could have ran a shitty one. He ran a shitty one. So I'm bad for pointing out what he
pulling for him.
Jesus. Anyway, let Joe talk. Let Joe talk. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I only got like 10 minutes before I got to run the class. I'm just wondering, is there a way I can put this on speakerphone or something? Because I cannot hear you guys when I'm looking at the screen.
I don't know.
Nah, I'm on speaker on my phone.
What did you do to get on speaker?
It was already on speaker by default when I had it on my phone. Maybe your volume's low.
All right. Yeah, here we go. I just figured it out. Much better. Why is my video off now? This is a pain in the ass.
You don't need to see your face anyway.
Yo, you want to see my face. It's delicious. Anyways. So basically, I mean, I don't know. I feel like John's done a little bit of a 180 on his political opinion.
720.
well, you gotta look at it this way. I mean, but like maybe 5 or 6 or 7 months ago, he was like pulling with me when I was with Rand Paul. And then before Rand Paul even dropped out, as soon as Alex Jones says, well, Rand Paul doesn't look like he's going to win, then he just goes right, he endorses Trump, and now we're right at Trump.
Alex Jones is a front runner. Now suddenly he's a front runner. When he was supporting Ron Paul in 2008, 2012, sink or swim, even though Ron Paul had zero chance in 2008. They weren't even bothering bashing Ron Paul. They just didn't give him any airtime, and he's still stuck by Ron Paul in 2008. Now, because Jones is getting paid by these Republicans, now all of a sudden he goes from Rand Paul to Ted Cruz to Donald. He's just going to go who's leading in the polls. That's all he's going to do. He's going to jump. He's going to be like Roger Stone. He's going to jump on the bandwagon and all this other shit.
Roger Stone was working with Trump. Roger Stone helped set up the Trump campaign, so it's not really the bandwagon thing.
Helping set up the Trump campaign is kind of like being that's kind of like being Phil Jackson coaching the Bulls. I mean, you got Donald Trump, who's got all the money at his disposal. He's a household name.
Bandwagon. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Look, Alex Jones couldn't have saved Rand Paul's campaign because he was already flagging way bad. Then he went and shot his campaign. He ran a shitty campaign.
Yeah, but was the point really to win the presidency then? I mean,
the stuff candidates that he believed they were winning.
Could Ron Paul have won in 2008?
I'm bandwagon right like that.
You know what I'm saying? Ron Paul have a chance.
Before Rand Paul dropped out, Alex Jones had him on his show and kind of tried to tell him, don't go after Trump in this crappy way because you're just going to fuck yourself up. Go, be honest, but he just ran out of money. So, Trump is now kind of taken Rand Paul's place. They're not exactly the same, but that's what it was. Paul screwed himself. Now the closest candidate to Rand Paul, I think, is Trump, not Ted Cruz.
Well, like
Alex Jones just points that out,
like I said, you want to get involved. You want to get involved in the politics.
That's nothingness, Andrew. Danny, you're just saying, don't get involved if you want to get involved.
Because even Joe's amused. You kind of contradict yourself. Now the closest thing to Rand Paul is. It sounds like you're just jumping from one front runner to the next. I really don't see. I don't see any similarities.
Rand Paul was never the front runner, so
I don't see any similarities between Trump and Rand. Like if you ask Rand Paul, he'll tell you they have nothing. He said out of his own mouth, we have nothing.
Second Amendment. I mean, I think they're pretty close. I was supporting Rand until he was out.
But Rand Paul has said that they have nothing in common.
Yeah, well, that's
from his own mouth. And now that he's out, he can endorse anybody he wants. And you know what? Rand Paul is finally doing something like his dad. See, Rand Paul has been nothing like his dad up until now when he says, I'm not endorsing any of these guys. Ron Paul didn't endorse. That was my problem with Rand Paul in 2012. When his dad was still running against Mitt Romney and they kind of snaked him at the RNC to change the rules, Rand Paul came out in support of Mitt Romney. Like his dad said, I'm not supporting anybody. He could have stood by his dad and said, I'm not supporting Mitt Romney or anybody else either, but my dad.
I never found that very important. I just thought that looks like some party politics. Like Trey Gowdy endorsed Rubio. I think that was stupid on Gowdy's part, but I mean,
like I said, it's all a game.
You look at Gowdy's not like a major. I wouldn't say Gowdy's like a major. Like he's not like an establishment Republican or anything like that. I just think he made a mistake in his endorsement. I mean, if you look at Gowdy's record, it's been pretty consistent with of a good conservative. I don't know why he endorsed him. I was actually shocked. I thought for sure he'd go for Cruz.
Well, I don't know. It was probably party politics. He also said he wanted Paul Ryan, but hey, he'd make a great attorney. He's basically been serving as attorney general.
Isn't it funny? I listen to this shit. Isn't it funny how people that complain about party politics are like, it's just party politics. So you're accepting party politics, but you say you're tired of party politics.
We're just talking about how it went, and that's what's funny is it's just. You say a lot of lies, Danny, and then we have to deal with them. That's pretty much.
You can say I lie, but you know what? I have never once given an endorsement for any presidential candidate.
That's fine.
Well, that's not. I remember when you were on your Bernie roll. I mean, seriously, man. For like,
I was posting "Feel the Burn" to piss some of you people off, but I never once. Anyone's asked me ever seriously. I've never supported Bernie Sanders. I got problems with Bernie Sanders, like I have problems with anybody else. I honestly, Bernie Sanders. Honestly, I think he's a real shitty candidate. I think he's a shitty candidate. Look, I'll tell you about Bernie Sanders. See, Bernie Sanders is smart because he knows the people in this country what they're sick and tired of. Like he knows like the corporatism, the big business, the debt, the student. Like he knows exactly what people are pissed off about, but he has no solutions. Like he said something about like white people don't know what it's like to be poor. I mean, he's a fucking idiot. The guy's an idiot.
Yep.
Bernie Sanders is dumb as hell. All he relies on.
You just said he's smart, and then you said he's dumb in the same.
Well, he said that was a stupid thing that he said. You know what I'm saying? Like
what, man? I mean, he talks about white people so fucking dumb.
But that was a stupid thing that he said, and I think when he said that, he felt like, you know what, people are telling him, look, you're losing to Hillary because you're not getting the black vote. So now he's trying to kind of connect with that, and he opened his mouth and said something really stupid. Now that's a really dumb thing, but it's
really bad for him. It's absolutely the case. And you know what else was really bad for him is when he just decided to do an entire 180. He used to have an A rating from the NRA, and then as soon as he started running for president, he starts talking about all this gun control stuff that he never ever believed in Vermont. And now he's got.
That's why I was saying to Fresco, you want to play these politic games and support your candidates. See, if I wanted to play the politic game and say, I've been supporting Bernie Sanders from the start, I'm pro-Second Amendment. Now I have to defend myself against people who say, well, your candidate's anti-Second Amendment. See, that's why I don't get involved in it.
Against Danny is when you lie about people. You
can't name a single lie.
You do lie. Trump never said he wanted to shut down the internet for Muslims. He never said that.
I showed you the article where he said it.
No, he didn't say that, though. He didn't say he wants to shut down the internet for Muslims. He said, shut down the internet, okay. He didn't say it was for Muslims.
He wants to get Bill Gates to get it done.
He said something else about Muslims.
But what about Bill Gates? So he wants to call up Bill Gates. I thought Bill Gates was population control.
I did. But here, you lose the topic. I don't like that he mentioned Bill Gates. But Rand Paul had meetings with Bill Gates. But he didn't say he wants to shut down the internet for Muslims. So when you repeat that, that's a
okay.
lie.
So we're gonna do what you say, and we're gonna use context, ready? Because you like to say use context. Let's use context. He wants to put Muslims in a database.
No,
he wants
to. Didn't say it.
He wants to spy. Everybody here knows he did.
You didn't say it.
He wants to spy on mosques.
That he did. No, he didn't say he wants to put Muslims in a database. He didn't say that.
Joe, do I have to go to Google and put it up and post the article again? Like, I don't want to do that.
That he said that, but he didn't say it.
I'm not into this enough yet, so I'm not going to speak on it, but I do got to run the class. I'll talk to you guys later.
Vote Trump.
He said he was going to put Muslims in the database. He wants to spy on mosques, right?
No. Well, he said he would spy.
He wants to ban Muslims from coming to the country.
He didn't say he was going to spy on mosques just because they're mosques. He said he's going to spy on them if he gets, if there's possible activity going on there. Which
how are you going to know about the possible activity if you're not spying on him?
You get a
Is he going to go there and pray?
Now, I don't like his. Well, he's not.
Well, answer that question. How are you going to know there's activity at the mosque if you're not spying on him?
You might hear about it.
How
do you get a warrant? How do you get a warrant? How do you get a warrant?
You can't get a warrant just by hearing about it. How do you get a warrant?
How do you get a warrant? How do you get a warrant? How do you get a warrant?
You got to show a judge that you got probable cause.
Aha. So that's one issue. I want him to be very much on getting probable cause, getting a warrant and everything, but he didn't just say he's going to spy on all the mosques.
I just want to interject the humor that I'm finding here. You are going to
say something, you boring.
You're going to base national policy on you might hear that there's something going on. Let's make it national policy because you might hear.
What the hell is this guy talking about?
Well,
that was your response.
What?
How is somebody going to know that something is going on at a mosque? Well, you might hear. Might hear it through the grapevine. I don't know.
You might. That's kind of that's what went down with the first World Trade Center bombing.
But you don't take that to a judge and get a warrant because you heard something.
Judge.
Well, not just because you heard something, but if you get probable cause. If you get probable cause, you go and get surveillance.
But how do you see? This is where you don't know anything. How do you get probable cause that something's going on in the mosque?
Do you know how the first World Trade Center bombing went down? A guy came to the FBI and said...
That's different than hearing something about a mosque. Nobody's going to the FBI. You know what I'm saying? It's different than hearing something about a mosque.
Well, no, because it can go down the same way. If there's a mosque where someone's radicalizing people or sending money to terrorist organizations, then someone from that mosque might report on it. They might do that. Are we saying that can't happen? It's
no, that we're saying, or I'm saying, that national policy in terms of law enforcement methodologies, intelligence, cannot rely on maybe somebody's going to hear something.
No, it's not going to rely just on that, I don't think. I mean, you got to have law enforcement policies not just regarding surveillance, but all kinds of things.
Right, but ultimately, if a presidential candidate is going to institute policies that are going to keep us safe, that are going to ferret out information, it's not going to just be some willy-nilly, well, maybe somebody's going to walk into an embassy and then start talking.
Right, but it's also not necessarily we're going to spy on all the mosques. What I think Trump is getting at, and what the real problem is that, you know, you have a lot of investigations going on that get on radical Islamic elements that get shut down by DHS or that get shut down by the Obama administration. That is some weirdness that was swirling around San Bernardino, and for obvious reasons, since we know all Obama's connections to the radical Islamic terrorism. So he made some clumsy comments on it, but that we're going to spy on all Muslims and put them in a database.
Seems like he keeps making clumsy comments. He made a clumsy comment about Bill Gates. Now he's making a clumsy comment about this.
That's a great danger of is that he makes clumsy comments sometimes.
So you want to give this guy the keys to the fucking White House, and he can't he can't even articulate himself in a.
Well, he can't articulate himself perfectly every 7 seconds.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can.
I don't give anyone that much power.
I think that he can articulate himself. I think he knows exactly what he's saying, and he's drumming up support amongst that Republican, Christian, right-wing voter base that just hates all Muslims. But people that can't tell the difference between a Sikh and a Muslim. Oh, he's got a turban on his head. He must be a terrorist.
Now you're just talking about some other people. I mean,
these are people that are voting for him.
I'm sure they are.
He said it himself that he's thankful for the low-educated voters that keep voting for him.
Absolutely, he is. Well, it's better than Bernie because
you know why he likes those people? Because he can say stupid shit like we're discussing now about, oh yeah, maybe somebody will hear something, or I'll call up Bill Gates to close the internet. And people are too stupid to question or even understand what that means. All they hear is build a wall.
He simplifies things. Absolutely.
It's not even simplifying anything. It's completely first of all, it's completely false. Bill Gates has nothing to do with the internet. Bill Gates Bill Gates invented Microsoft and he sold it. Like before the internet was even around.
Yeah. People associate the name Bill Gates with computers and the internet. I mean,
he's a fucking idiot.
Well,
and he knows his voters are idiots. He knows
voters are idiots. So that's the thing. You could have a guy. If you got a good candidate, if you want someone, you got to at least simplify things for people so they'll vote.
So you don't like it when I simplify things. Now you got to simplify.
No. You want to simplify, but you want to keep out complications, and you're not running for president. So that's the thing.
So if I was running for president, it'd be cool to just make things as simple as possible so everyone can understand. Break it down to the absolute most stupid.
I think he could make it a lot stupider if he wanted, but he's bringing up 9/11 and things. So he's got some complications for that stupid voter. I don't think he's quite perfect on that. But you want a presidential candidate who's going to get up and talk about nanothermite and Richard Gage.
But because that's not true. Because I liked Ron Paul and he wasn't talking about that. Ron Paul just said he would stand out of the way of an investigation, which is something Donald Trump insinuated that he would do, which is the only thing I really like about Trump.
But then you said, well, he's not going far enough, and you want him to basically dedicate the whole campaign to it. But he's trying to get all those.
If I was going to support him, yeah. If I was going to support somebody, if I was going to justify all the bigotry and all the pandering to the racists, if I was going to look past all the nonsense that Trump says on a daily basis, he would have to go farther down the 9/11 rabbit hole for me. So someone like Ron Paul didn't have to, because even if Ron Paul didn't agree about 9/11, I liked his foreign policy stance. I liked his civil liberties stance. I liked his stance on legalizing marijuana, legalizing drugs, legalizing prostitution, legalizing gay marriage. I liked his Second Amendment stance. I liked his social justice stances. I liked his stance on Israel. So even if he didn't go that far, as long as he wasn't going to stand in the way of people making an effort to get a new investigation in for the families, I could have lived with all that. See, I can't live with Trump's nonsense, his egalitarianism, if he's just going to be a whitewash for 9/11. He's got to go deeper than that for me to say, okay, I can live with all that other garbage. You understand what I'm saying?
We'll see what he does. He's taking on certain elements that ran 9/11. So, that's what Steve Pachinik says. And I know Steve Pachinik doesn't know anything. And now you're going to bring up someone who did the no planes thing. I know. But that seems to be how.
Talking about?
Huh?
What the hell are you talking about? No, I'm going to bring up somebody who did the no planes thing.
Yeah, because that's what you do when I bring up Steve Pachinik. But that's how it seems things are lining up. So
he's just another cult leader of yours. He's a guy that you just can't question. Like these.
I question him. I question him sometimes. But
that's the problem with you people. You treat Alex Jones and Stone and Pachinik like these people. Like when they say something, you have to follow. You don't even bother.
I don't have to follow them. I just say
you like these people like you like Panzella and all these ANCAPs who listen to Adam Kokesh and anything Adam Kokesh says. And anything like Stefan Molyneux says and all these fucking retards.
I don't listen to everything they say. The difference is I don't listen to what they say and then lie about it. That's what you do. I will listen to what someone has to say, and they're right.
I don't understand what I lied about.
Sometimes,
I don't understand what I lied about.
You just had lies about Trump. You lie about everyone being.
What did I lie about Trump about?
You just did. I just pointed it out. I know you can't.
Which one? What specifically?
The spying on putting Muslims in a database. He just didn't.
Well, like I said, what we're going to do what you do.
Shutting the internet down for Muslims. Shutting the internet down for Muslims. He never said.
Well, if you don't use context, then yeah.
I mean, hey, I think your context is a little messed up, but
How is my context messed up? So he wants to ban Muslims from coming to the United States. He wants to ban Muslims from coming to the United States. He wants to put Muslims in a database. Maybe he doesn't want to put. He wants to put Muslims in a database. Sure, he does.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't want. He wants to spy on mosques, so we got that established.
His database comment was regarding the Muslim refugees.
Okay, but he wants to put Muslims in a database. He wants to put Muslim refugees.
Not Muslims.
Even though there's already a database, when the refugee comes here, they go through a stringent background check and they go into a database.
Say so, but look who's running those background checks.
It doesn't matter. It's already there. He can. He told me he wants to put them in a database. Absolutely. What if they don't want to? Well, they have no choice.
The government that funds and arms Islamic
So you're
terrorists.
trying to tell me there's no data. So you're trying to tell me under the Obama administration,
Yeah.
there is no database
There
that
is
Muslim refugees and immigrants enter into.
There is a database already. He was asked about the database. So he's
okay. So he's asking about a database that already exists. So what is he?
Right.
So that sounds redundant.
I chalk that up to his not being perfect in answering every.
Here we go. So every single fucking thing this guy says now.
No, not every single thing. It's just you get hyped up on it. So
it's the Bill Gates thing. He just sucks at articulating himself. It's the Muslim database.
I judge different comments in different ways. I judge different comments in different ways. Because I mean,
we're running through all his comments about Muslims now, and you're saying he's just been taken out of context because he doesn't know how to word himself.
No, it's not.
Everything about Muslims.
It's not all the comments. It's not some comments. People are deliberately lying about what he said, and
look. Let's back up for a second here.
He
said he wanted to put Muslims in a database. You said he wants to put the Syrian refugees in a database. I'm telling you that the database has existed for decades, or maybe even 100 years, for refugees coming to the United States. So why is he saying we need a database when we already have it? Then you're saying, well, the Obama administration's running it. So then I ask you, so what? Did the Obama administration get rid of the database? Does the database no longer exist? No, it exists.
It's bad if Obama's running it, obviously.
But he didn't say that, though. He said he wants to put the Muslims in the database.
See, you already made the argument that since he doesn't answer every question perfectly, that we can't let him around the White House, which...
Well, I'm just asking you to use context like you ask me to use context every day. You always say, well, you don't take it in context. I want to take his context about closing up the internet with Bill Gates. I want to use context. If he's talking about putting Muslims in a database, if he's talking about putting Syrian refugees in a database, if he's talking about spying on mosques, if he's talking about preventing Muslims, the whole entire religion, from coming here, when he's talking about closing up the internet, we can use context and assume that he's talking about banning Muslims from the internet. Like he's banning Muslims.
I don't think that's what it is. I think the context on the internet remark was regarding how.
So anything that you conveniently want to.
Here's your problem: is that I'm giving you my interpretation, and then you are crying about it.
Well, I'm asking you to use context.
I was about to before you cut me off, you cocksucker.
Oh man! So we don't want to use.
I'm trying to answer. You keep talking.
We don't want to use context.
Trying to answer. You keep talking. What it was regarding was that ISIS is able to operate so freely on Facebook and Twitter and the internet. I very much wish that he would be more open about this stuff, but I don't see him as wanting to close up the internet for Muslims, for Muslim Americans. Does he want to stop the?
Sure, if you don't use context.
We differ on the contextual.
I'm just telling you. You say to me, so now you don't like it.
No, I'm fine. I just say I think your use of context is incorrect, but you can harp on this all you like. So that's the thing. Is he appealing in some way to a racist streak in America? Absolutely, but that's.
Thank you for finally fucking admitting it.
I've said that before. I've said that before.
All this time. So you acknowledge that Trump is using racism to build his base.
No, I didn't say he was using racism.
He's just appealing to racism.
He's appealing to a demographic that.
But how is he doing it? He's not using racism.
Spectrum of what we could call racism.
So wait a minute. So let me ask you this. How come Hillary Clinton doesn't appeal to that crowd?
It doesn't appeal to which exactly?
The racist crowd that you would just acknowledge that Donald Trump is tapping into.
She appeals to the Black Lives Matter crowd, which is she's trying to appeal to them. She's not doing
right. So when she
I find them I find that a racial demographic as well.
Okay, great. So now I have another question for you.
It appeals on grounds of race as well.
Well, let me ask you this then. Why is it that when Hillary Clinton gets the Black Lives Matter vote, she's pandering to racists and using racist rhetoric, but when Donald Trump has his racist base, he's not doing the same thing?
No, because I don't see her as. She doesn't get the Black Lives Matter vote. A lot of that is going to Sanders. She's getting the black machine vote. So
how is she doing it?
Here's the difference: is that we know what she does to black and brown and Muslim people. Trump, in wanting to stop the refugees, is trying to stop a program run by people who kill Muslims, which will just result in more black and minority people here getting...
But he says he wants to bomb the shit out of ISIS.
He wants to bomb the shit out of ISIS, yes.
Yeah, but ISIS, here's the thing. If you don't know anything about foreign policy, you can say anything. Oh, I want to bomb the shit out. He said ISIS. He didn't say Muslims. When they drop bombs to get ISIS, they're hitting like 5% of their targets. And the other 95% are fucking children, women, people who aren't terrorists, and all this other shit. They destroy. Look, they went in Libya to get Al-Qaeda. And look at Libya, is completely wrecked. Completely wrecked. They went in Iraq to get Saddam, and now Iraq is completely wrecked.
Yeah, they went in Libya and Iraq to depose.
So tell me why I should support Trump for saying the same shit every other fucking politician said in the past 12 years.
Because again, they went into Libya to take out Gaddafi for the gold and the oil. We get all that. Trump is not saying let's take out Assad. That is the New World Order goal.
Yeah, he's saying take out ISIS. ISIS is the puppet. ISIS is the puppet that they put in to a country they put it there as a target.
How is that puppet? That puppet is operating basically under American air cover, and there is a conflict within our own military on how to take. We've got our own military fighting against Obama and the CIA, providing intelligence to the Russians and Assad to take out ISIS and these connected elements. So Trump is at least he's siding with.
But see, here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
There was just a drone strike in Pakistan that killed 100-something people.
It was in Somalia, you fucking moron.
Or Somalia, whatever. No, I think it was Somalia, and there was another one. I think there was a bombing in Pakistan or something. But there was one in Somalia also that they just launched, a drone strike in Somalia, that they're trying to get the terrorists. But they killed many other people. So Obama gets blamed for bombing Somalia and killing a bunch of innocent people while trying to get terrorists. But when Trump says he wants to do the same thing, he gets credit because he just says he wants to bomb ISIS. Yeah.
Well, I think
that's an odd contradiction.
I think the reports are that it was 150 al-Shabaab people who got killed in that.
All right, 150 al-Shabaab people that got killed. I know.
Right.
And when it comes,
I don't think you're correct.
And all these, it's funny how you know what else is funny too. You hear all these news reports about how 150 al-Shabaab people or al-Nusra people or al-Qaeda people, they got all these operatives, but yet all you keep seeing are refugees and kids with their heads blown off and mothers holding their dying kids. And it's like, where are all the al-Shabaab bodies? They're telling you that because...
From where? From which thing are you talking about?
From everywhere in the fucking...
My God, you're trying to conflate
every bomb that gets dropped.
Everywhere with what happened yesterday.
From every bomb that gets dropped.
What happened yesterday in Somalia?
You don't know what happened, and I don't know what happened. We're only going by what got reported.
Okay, well, if you don't know what happened, then don't talk about it.
I'm trying to point out the way you contradict yourself.
No,
you blame Obama for killing Muslims because you blame Obama for killing Muslims, right? He's dropping a bomb in Somalia to try to get the terrorists. Okay. Now, when Donald Trump goes on TV and says, "I'm going to bomb the shit out of ISIS," he's dropping bombs to get ISIS. Now, when he kills a bunch of innocent people at the same time, are you going to then turn around and say, "Wow, Trump is killing Muslims"?
Difference.
There's no difference.
Difference is Obama trying to kill terrorists.
That's what he says he does. That's what he says he is.
That's what he says, but we know.
Okay, that's what Trump says.
We know what happened in Syria.
Well, that's what Trump says.
In that our military. People like Dempsey, apparently, this is what Cy Hirsch is kind of onto. We don't know everything, but that they have been helping the Russians and Assad beat back the Al-Qaeda forces. That Obama and this Team Obama.
I know that already. I'm not disagreeing with you on that, though.
Exactly. So
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm pointing out the contradiction in you, though. I'm trying to show you that when Trump says he's going to bomb the shit out of ISIS, it's the same thing that when Obama says it. The only thing that you can come back at with is, well, Trump hasn't bombed anybody yet, because he's not the president yet. But when he gets in there and he orders his first bomb strike on ISIS, right, and he kills a bunch of innocent people, are you going to say, oh, whoops, he said he wasn't going to do that. He said he was just going to bomb ISIS. I mean, it all comes down to you just taking politicians at their word. Don't you understand how? This is why Ron Paul was so appealing, because Ron Paul wasn't saying that. Ron Paul wasn't even talking about dropping bombs at all.
Right.
This is the point. You have to believe this guy Trump at his word. A guy that's flip-flopped so many times through the decades on politics, not even as a politician.
But
and that's the problem you run into.
The reason I believe him is because it seems that New World Order people are taking him at his word.
The reason you believe him is because Alex Jones gave him the endorsement, and you can't deviate from the InfoWars code. We went over this.
Wait. Sorry, say that again. I didn't hear that. What was that?
I said the reason why you believe him is because he's got Alex Jones' endorsement. You can't deviate.
It really isn't. Well, why do you think Alex Jones is endorsing him? Aside
because
from
he's the front runner, dude. Because he's the front runner. Everything Alex Jones does increases his money, increases his power, increases his influence.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing. Here, New World Order elements everywhere. The usual suspects are coming out against Trump. Now, it could all be a charade to make him look like he's the real...
Well, the New World Order things are coming out against Trump because that's another thing I agree on. I don't think Trump is part of that crew. Just like I didn't think Rand Paul was part of that crew. See, there's a whole crew. Donald Trump wasn't part of PNAC. He wasn't in that crew. I don't know if Donald Trump ever been to Bohemian Grove. I don't know if Donald Trump's a part of the CFR. I doubt that he is. But I know he's not part of that brotherhood. I know he's not part of that. But that doesn't make him exempt from being crazy. That doesn't make him exempt from being his own power-hungry, warmongering individual all to himself. That doesn't exempt him from that at all.
Trump will, if he's elected.
Hitler was a Nazi, but he wasn't in a communist under Stalin. But that doesn't make Stalin good or Hitler good because they didn't like each other.
I don't think Trump will be perfect, but I think he will pursue certain policies that are good. If he decides to go bomb Syria, and take out ISIS. I hope he wouldn't invade Syria with ground troops.
Obama hasn't invaded Syria with ground troops either.
But
there hasn't been a ground invasion under Obama yet.
Yeah, but what's good is that he is obviously hated by all these elements.
Like I said, that doesn't mean that he's good.
I don't say he's perfect. I mean good. He is for sovereignty. He's a nationalist. So
what it comes down to for you is
he doesn't have to be good. He doesn't have to be perfect. But he is definitely resisting the New World Order project to some degree. If he becomes president, he's going to.
He also regurgitates some New World Order rhetoric.
Yeah. I mean, stuff that you might take as New World Order rhetoric. I don't necessarily see it as that because I'm dealing with the New World Order operations. So, but I mean, you're confusing what happened in Somalia and Pakistan yesterday. So, I mean, But we know what Obama's basically been protecting ISIS with the fake war. That's the cover story against them. He's giving them air cover. So that's why it's been taking 2 years to defeat them now. Trump is saying we're going to bomb the shit out of them. We're going to take them out first. We're not going to deal with Assad. We're going to just get them. So it disappeared.
That he said he was going to do. That's it. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is blind faith. Well, he said he's going to do this. He's a nationalist.
It's not blind. We'll see what happens. The thing is, I don't lie.
See, when you say we'll see what happens, that's blind faith.
Yeah, there's a little bit of faith you need to have. I am not a completely embittered cynic as you are, and I don't seek to lie about people just to back up my cynicism.
I'm not being a cynic. If I'm being a cynic, I have experience in that.
Oh,
remember, I volunteered for Ron Paul's campaign in 2008. I had to sit there and watch. I had to tell people in We Are Change to leave their 9/11 Truth shirts at home when they're doing a Ron Paul campaign because they don't want to undermine his campaign with 9/11 Truth. I had to be part of that, and I regret that. If I can go back in time, I wouldn't have had any part of that. I had to see Ron Paul live on Glenn Beck's show when Glenn Beck still had a show, saying it's absurd. I don't think 9/11 was an inside job. That's absurd. Like completely spitting in the face of Alex Jones, the Truth Movement.
Yeah. Well, Alex Jones is now backing Trump.
I'm a cynic. It's because I have experience with that. I can.
I know, but I'm not a complete cynic. I don't have no faith.
Yeah, but this faith is baseless because, like I said, Trump doesn't have any resume as far as being a politician. And all he has, all he has is what he's saying.
Right.
That's all he has.
Well,
and he also had the past.
Resume. You can base your resume on his actions outside of politics. I mean, it's not like politics.
Right. Rubbing shoulders with Clinton, Bush, Giuliani. I mean, Giuliani is probably one of the biggest 9/11 criminals to walk the face of the earth. Yeah. And there he is with Bill Clinton, George Bush, and Donald Trump playing golf.
Right. Okay. And here's the thing. Roger Stone, who got Bush elected, he got both Bushes elected, is now backing Trump. So
that's not a red flag?
No, it's not, because of what Roger Stone basically had an awakening. Roger Stone's record is very open. Roger Stone is coming out and saying Bush is a criminal, Clinton's a criminal, they tried to kill Reagan, he's a JFK truther, he's a 9/11 truther. They
did try to kill Reagan.
I know, because Roger Stone says that. We know that. Thanks for pointing it out. And now he is supporting Trump and saying he's not perfect, but he is trying to oppose this globalist New World Order system. So I don't have to go on his word completely, but it is something I have to factor in. When a serious truther such as that, or such as Steve Pachinik or Alex Jones, is supporting Trump, you can't have 100% certainty that Trump isn't going to uncloak, or that Trump isn't going to do some bad things or get co-opted by some bad elements. But right now, I just take him honestly. I don't lie about him or lie about other people.
So you can read something. You can read. You know what? You know what would be a good book for you to read? I got a couple books from Chris Hedges. War is a force that gives us. War is a force that gives us meaning. Is a great book. He was on the ground. He was on the ground in Gaza, and he says in his book.
Was he on the ground in Bosnia, which he supported? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, he was on the ground in Bosnia. He talks a lot about that.
Well, he supported that.
Well, he doesn't sound like he supported it in his book. But
he supported it back then.
What he wrote was a majority of these war correspondents don't even believe the safety of the hotel complex or the green zone. Everything that they report is filtered.
Yeah. What? Are you telling me war is bad? I mean, what's the point? I mean, war is bad. Everyone knows that.
No honest reporting unless you get Chris Hedges' book, because he writes about it. But you don't get it from the news. I was just reading an article about turmoil in Tunisia from the New York Times. I already know not to trust that. That's all coming from the Middle East. It's all getting filtered through that military filter. And you can, if you pay attention, you can catch it. Like I just said, the same Al Qaeda henchman gets killed twice. There was one Al Qaeda henchman that they killed 3 times. 3 separate times the guy was killed.
Yeah.
And that's because at some point when you got so many operations going on and the news has to report it and people back home want to know, sometimes you just get caught up in the same. Sometimes you can't even keep track of the same stories over and over again. That military filter is not perfect. It's still run by human beings. So when you get to say, oh, you know, we're going to bomb ISIS, they got these people, they killed this many operatives, and you know, they did a precision attack and it was 14 militants were killed, and they're going out there and they're getting ISIS. Like, you don't know what they're hitting. All we know is that there are millions of refugees. There are millions of pictures of kids with their heads blown off. There are millions of wives laying there with their kids over a father's lifeless body. But we're not seeing any pictures of any so-called militants on the ground. We're not seeing that. We're just getting that people are militant.
We've been seeing that for years. Militants, as in jihadi, you know, terrorist ISIS people. We've been seeing that for years before ISIS even came out. It was all everyone knew it. That was the thing. We would see people running around shooting at the Syrian military, going Allahu Akbar, and we saw them shooting off gas.
And you know who else we get it from? We get it from soldiers that come home. That they tell the truth. They tell the story. I've spoken to at least like.
Okay, but you just said we weren't seeing that. We've been seeing it was all over Live Leak. It was everywhere. We knew it was happening as it was because Alex Jones was one of the main people exposing how, hey, we're arming jihadis in Libya.
Jesus.
And that was what was going on. So I don't get what you're talking about. I'm talking about like recently, like Libya.
I'm talking about the information you receive and the news from what's going on in the Middle East. You want to use that information and say, well, Trump's going to bomb ISIS.
What are you talking about? CNN and InfoWars were having very different narratives. CNN was showing kids with their heads blown off and saying, "Oh, Assad did it," and it wasn't always them. So,
Greg, where's Greg, bro? I thought Greg was here.
I don't know.
No, I'm here.
What's the deal, Greg? What do you think?
I'm having a real tough time, as per usual. Prescott, I have a tough time lending any credibility to anything Prescott says because he embraces Alex Jones.
Exactly. That's right. Hey, Greg.
General, hold on.
Do you think 9/11 was an inside job, Greg?
This is a general.
Do you think 9/11 was an inside job, Greg?
This is a general observation. Let me just get this out. In every political cycle, various people embrace one side, the other, et cetera, et cetera. The Ted Cruzes, the Alex Jones, the what have you. It seems that the left, the political left in this country, discount these people at face value. They're conspiracy theorists. They are this. They are that. I worked in the entertainment industry. I'm very attuned to people's personas, what their history is. Alex Jones is in business to promote his own career.
Whoa!
And his
whoa! Really?
Hang on.
Holy shit!
And ultimately, what he's found, along with the Rush Limbaughs of the world, the Tom Leikuses of the world, he's found that controversy and conflict is the biggest seller. So he embraces conflict and controversy, makes shit up.
What do you make up?
You
just said it. What do you make up? What do you make up?
In service of his own agenda.
What do you make up?
And ultimately,
this guy's
one who embraces Alex Jones is one who is a blade of grass in the wind.
Yeah, okay. You can't answer what he made up, so it's just a baseless charge. Very, very interesting point that he's in business to make money.
And how can you look at Ted Cruz and even start to give him any credence at all?
Oh, he's got a lot of credence. I mean, hey, he's argued many cases in front of the Supreme Court. He's a serious dude.
If he's not a full-fledged sociopath, he's well on his way.
Well, you're a sociopath. You just lied about Alex Jones, or you're making charges against Alex Jones that you can't back up. But anyway,
that's not sociopathic, John.
Very, very interesting statement. Well, no,
that's
it's just
not sociopathic, John.
Well, then it's just stupid. You're either a sociopath or you're an idiot. Waiting for your charge. Waiting for your charge.
And that there is the level of
waiting for your charge
that Alex Jones is under by you.
Waiting for your charge. I'm waiting for your charge. Right. Okay. So here, talk with Danny a minute. Well, yeah.
That's funny, huh?
I mean, how fucking idiotic to base your whole worldview on fucking Alex Jones.
All right, Greg. Listen, Greg. I'm gonna tell you. Go fuck yourself. You're not answering the question, so go fuck yourself. Go fuck your mother. Thank you. So Danny can say whatever he wants to say. I was just waiting for the charge. I heard nothing. So I mean, and an extremely slow nothing. So anyway, whatever Danny was talking about before.
Well, I mean, I got, like I said, man, I agree with Greg about Alex Jones, but I have a lot.
You could actually try and back up what you say. That's
because I've been around for a while. I remember back when I used to get almost all my info from Infowars. See, Greg, here's the thing about Alex Jones. I don't know how long you followed Alex Jones for, but back in 2005, 2006, Infowars was a much different animal than it is now. See, the Infowars product and the Infowars business has a lot of journalists now, like people like Jakari Jackson, Kurt Nimmo. Like, he has people that write original articles. Back, I'd say about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Greg, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Back in 10, 11 years ago, all Infowars was, it was kind of like an amalgamation of different news stories from all over the planet. It was just like news stories from, like, you had a Reuters article, then Associated Press.
It was yellow journalism. I mean,
no. Listen. Let me finish.
Hey, Greg, go fuck yourself.
His own conclusions. There was
Greg.
Every journalist draws conclusions. You cunt.
Greg, that's the way.
Shut the fuck up, John.
Greg, that's the way it is now. What I'm saying is, back like 11 years ago, it wasn't like that on Infowars. All it was news stories. That's it. There was no commentary. I think Paul Joseph Watson was the only editor, and Paul Joseph Watson would write his own editorial articles. But I never really agreed with Paul Joseph Watson since the very beginning of me being an Infowars fan. Since 2005, I wasn't a fan of his opinions. But Alex Jones he only had that one dude giving his editorials. And actually, Paul Joseph Watson had a brother, and his brother was involved in it also. I don't know what happened to his brother.
He doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about because he's just making comments about stuff he doesn't know about.
But back then, Infowars was a good place to get info. See, Infowars had the story about Danny Jawenko from Europe, where he watched a video of Building 7 coming down. Like, he didn't have any editorial articles. Then Infowars started to change around 2010, 2011, 2012. He started getting his own writers. I even remember Alex Jones on the radio saying he didn't want to do this anymore. He wanted to fade in the background and be the background guy, while he has people like Mike Adams, Dan Bidandi, Rob Dew, and other guys do his show for him, and he was getting a bunch of other writers to start writing editorials. What you see Infowars and Alex Jones as now, it wasn't like that 10, 11 years ago. It wasn't.
Wow. Well, a news operation evolved over 10 years? Holy shit.
You can say it evolved all you want. That's the word you want to choose. I don't see that as evolving, because a lot of the information is inaccurate. When he launches Infowars Nightly News, right? I was a Prison Planet subscriber, $5.99 a month, because I wanted the Infowars Nightly News. I only lasted about 2 or 3 episodes, and I had to stop because it wasn't nightly news. It was just an extension of his day show. And, like, I thought what he advertised Infowars Nightly News as, it was just going to be a news show. He was just going to report the news, and he wasn't going to give any commentary. What he ran it like was a 700 Club, where they read the news and then they turn over to Pat Robertson, and Pat Robertson gives his, like, little Christian spin on whatever the fuck they just announced in the news. I was just looking for news. I wanted to be able to show somebody like my dad, like, here, watch this news program, because I expected him to report on certain things that the news wouldn't report about, which was fine. But then he started giving his opinion and his agenda on it, and you can't have an agenda attached to every single news story. And I think that's what Greg is talking about, because that agenda is what
Greg said he lies. Greg said he makes stuff up.
He does lie. He does lie.
Well, you can try and bring something to my attention.
Well,
here's the thing, John.
Yeah. Here it goes.
Thank you.
The Alex. Yeah. Hello. All right.
Ultimately, if you want to look up anything about Alex Jones, you are obviously an avid Googler. His disinformation is on display without demanding somebody else provide information. The problem is confirmation bias.
You're not going to answer the question yourself.
The problem is confirmation bias.
No. Please bring me something. Please.
Dude, there
are
thousands of
Please. No, Greg, you, Greg, you.
Why?
You do it.
Why? Unless I do it, it's not true.
Oh,
Please, you do it. You
Why
said
don't
it.
you
I
vet
want to
your
see
own
if you
source?
can do it.
This is your belief.
No, please, Greg. I am
Why-
begging you.
I'm begging you, sir.
Go ahead. You can tell me something. Give me a reference point. Give me a topic. Give me something. If not, you're just saying nothing for yourself, and I don't give a shit. So, thank you.
I can give you something.
Please, please.
Okay. In 2008, when Obama was running against John McCain, he was calling Sarah Palin a whore, trash.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today, Sarah Palin is now the real deal. They only hate on her because the liberals don't like a strong, independent, conservative woman.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, whose daughter's having another kid by another dad. That's another case.
Yeah.
So you see him flip-flopping. Like, look, Greg may not know the specifics, but he's got a good idea. Alex Jones will flip-flop and go with the GOP flow. I honestly think he's getting paid. You can't just go from one belief and be a decent, average, successful, top of the food chain in the conspiracy world, but overall not very successful news outlet, to being what he is now, which is a very successful news outlet, albeit alternative and conspiracy. But now with him backing Donald Trump and a mainstream candidate and having Donald Trump on his show, he can tap into that mainstream and at the same time flip and call Sarah Palin the real deal and support a Ted Cruz and support mainstream candidates and not have people say, well, you know what, maybe he's flip-flopping for the money. Because he's flip-flopping and he's getting money. Like, follow the trail.
Well, why is he getting money, though? I mean, he's selling products, as we hear, and he should do.
He's been selling products for a long time.
Yeah, but he's been getting more products. So here's the thing.
Well, he's been getting more listeners now.
Jones has been having Robert Tosh Plumley on his show. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, so this is a massive, massive whistleblower regarding Benghazi. He's the guy who's been running guns for the CIA and has been getting info out for decades. You don't even know who that is. You have not been following Alex Jones's coverage of Plumlee vis-a-vis Benghazi and West Syria and all of that. So you're not really in a great position to figure out why people are following Jones. It's because he's calling stories 3 and 4 years before they are broken by the mainstream media.
But he's always been doing that.
Okay, so
that's what got him popular to begin with.
Right, so he has good whistleblowers on his show. His opinions of stuff you may like, you may not. They're not all great, but
not just the opinions.
Well, it's not the information you hate. I mean, Sarah Palin a whore is not really information.
I think the information itself is deteriorating. I really do.
Maybe you do, but here's the thing. You just showed me that you're not a great judge of the information, that you don't even know who Robert Tosh Plumley is.
Oh, fuck.
So, you're talking about something you don't really know about.
An Alex Jones follower is telling another person they're not a great judge of
information. Greg, go fuck your mother.
This is so rich.
Mm-hmm.
I just told you how the information is deteriorated, though. I just told you how he was...
That's not really an information thing regarding Sarah Palin.
How is that not an information thing? He's supporting... He's supporting something.
Yeah, but that's more of the opinion. That's more of the opinion stuff. I didn't like that he said Sarah Palin is a real deal. I don't think she's necessarily a New World Order operative. Totally. I mean, she could be run by those people.
Well, she was in 2008. She's friends with He pointed out a whole lot of Kissinger connections in 2008. Now all of a sudden they don't exist anymore. See, this is the point. This is the thing that Greg was saying.
If Kissinger was trying to run her in 2008, maybe she kind of got away from that. I don't exactly know what happened, but
I don't exactly know, so it's irrelevant.
Well, I didn't say it was irrelevant. I never said it was irrelevant.
This is the problem about...
What's more relevant about Jones is someone he has talked to and talked about much more than Sarah Palin, which is Robert Tosh Plumley. You don't even know about Robert Tosh Plumley.
But see what you have to do right now? See what you're doing right now? You have to backtrack and you have to defend your cult. This is why I don't. This is why I left the. This is why I left the cult. This is why I called it.
But
this is why I don't listen to Alex Jones anymore.
Danny, you don't listen. That's fine. You don't listen, but you try to judge him. So the Sarah Palin thing, it's an inconsistent. it's a flip flop.
I gotta go, man.
Good. Go fuck your mother, you fucking faggot.
All right, Greg.
Where do you live?
You calling me a faggot with a face?
Yeah,
like
yeah, I am. Suck my dick. Mother takes it in the ass, faggot.
I'm glad
Hey,
I'm not in the room.
Hey, faggot.
I'd be
Hey, faggot.
for assault.
Hey, cocksucker.
Fuck.
Hey, faggot.
That's what he does.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck the dog yourself.
I'm not a violent guy, but I
Hey,
sure
cocksucker.
punch you.
The reason Alex Jones is is because So, Danny, don't talk about the information if you don't really know the depth of the information.
Well, I don't really know.
There will always be inconsistencies. There were inconsistencies back when you were listening to him. There always have been. There always will be.
There wasn't. There weren't really.
None? There were none. Were there none?
No, I wasn't saying there were none. I said there weren't really that as many. He wasn't known to be. As a matter of fact, he was remarkably consistent because he really all he did was interpret the news, and he was right. But a lot of when he confronted David Gergen, when he went into Bohemian Grove, I mean, the information was airtight. Nowadays, when you start having people like Jakari Jackson, Rob Dew, and all these schmucks start writing articles, when you have a clown like Paul Joseph Watson on his Facebook page,
these are names. These are names. These aren't really criticisms of certain articles.
But this is where,
and as you just told me, you really don't know the basic breadth of the information that's going on there anymore.
Listen, this is the direction InfoWars has taken. I'm talking about InfoWars itself. This is the direction InfoWars has taken. This is why he lost a lot of listeners. But look. You have the 9/11 truth crowd.
He was gaining listeners. I thought he was lying, and so he was gaining listeners.
Yeah, he lost his original base, a lot of it, and he gained more. That's not a hard concept to understand. How is that a hard concept to understand?
It's not a hard concept to understand. I just don't think that's exactly what happened. I'm sure a lot of people like you dropped off because you're purists and kind of hysterical and
plenty of people
understand it.
I think really don't even know. I don't even know many people anymore that even still listen to Alex Jones that were in We Are Change.
I'm sure.
People completely left.
But you continue to try to talk about it, and you don't know.
I don't know what. I just told you. I just gave you.
You don't even know who Tosh Plum. First, you should.
I don't know who Daniel Tosh is. So now all of a sudden, I don't know anything.
Well, no, it's not Daniel Tosh. It's Robert Tosh Plumley. Big difference. So no, what I'm saying is, it's not that you don't know who he is. That's fine, but you can't really talk about how the information is on the show now as compared to before because you don't know who Plumlee is. You don't know what he's talking about. You don't know who he's talking to. So he's had Plumlee on the show for years now talking about what's going on in Syria and predicting ISIS, basically.
Right. So?
And it's been basically spot on. He came out and said the bin Laden raid was lying and all that. So that's why a lot of people like him.
Okay, and what does that mean?
That means you're just trying to judge him based on the Sarah Palin thing, which is, I mean, that's a very minor inconsistency as compared to the mountains of information he's been getting out.
Well, I don't like I said, I don't know what he's been talking about with this
your big
Plumlee guy, but
right, yeah. Well, you should know.
Okay, so then I go and then I go on InfoWars and see what he's talking about with this Mason Plumlee guy, and then I don't like the information. I think it's crap.
Mason Plumlee? What the hell are you talking about?
Is that who you said he's talking to? Miles Plumlee?
Robert Tosh Plumlee.
Same shit.
Holy Christ!
Isn't Miles Plumlee his brother? I think he's related to Miles Plumlee.
When someone who is consistently talking to someone like Plumlee is endorsing Trump, then it gives some credence. Your big problem, I think, is that you don't like what he's doing regarding the cops and the Black House operations, which is very plain for anyone to see.
Oh, look, Gabe just commented. I wouldn't go and hang out with you if you offered me $1,000, even $1 million. You can't keep the gold medal for the oppression Olympics you wish to host. How the see? This is why this kid's a fucking clown and a coward. He keeps. Let me tell you something. I had my radio show that I took over for Pandela in 2014. Right? Gabe was arguing with me on Facebook all the time, similar to where he is now. So I said, Gabe, why don't you call up the show and debate me? You see how he posts things? Like he types out these giant multi-paragraph, multi-posts in a row. Like it would translate to like a 25-page essay. You see how he types?
Yeah.
He talks like that on the radio show. I only have an hour, and he is going on, and I'm like, Gabe, and he keeps going like he doesn't hear me. So I have to mute his mic to be like, Gabe, I just muted you. Listen to me a second, because people are listening. I got other people that want to call in, and then he says I censor him because of that. I don't even bring that up when he says I censor him, because I'm not going to explain it, because I'm not going to go back and forth. I already know that I never censored him on my radio show because of anything he said. I just had to shut him up because he wouldn't stop fucking talking for a long ass time, and it turned into something that's so incoherent. Like, I didn't even know what he was talking about anymore. So he wants to bring that up that I did that. There's no way that I can mute him on this, right?
I don't know. Probably
unless he's a fucking complete moron that doesn't know how Google Hangouts works, he's just using that as an excuse because he's fucking scared to come into this thing and debate me.
Well, but hey, man, everyone seems to type with how they. Everyone seems.
He says maybe in late May I'll consider it, since Victoria and several others will be in town. But considering you have a tendency to say stupid shit to the wrong people, I may have to take that into consideration as well. So he won't debate me unless Victoria and other people are in town for him. I don't understand. This is a video chat. I'm not meeting him in person.
I don't know his problem. But hey, Greg seems to talk exactly how he types. Just complete.
You can explain to the common working man how their white skin color is oppressive to the black, brown, and yellow brothers and sisters. Well, there, and let me know afterward how well that went for you. I don't understand what he even means by that.
Well, he's making fun of the fact that you harp on race constantly with that idiot Tim Wise, and I get that. Is that so hard to get? But his point is, even if he doesn't put it correctly. So yeah, and that's another thing I think you hate, is that Alex Jones doesn't really harp on this racial. Well, he doesn't side with you on this racial goofiness.
Well, sure, he's just on the other side. He black on black.
He exposes
black statistics. Black on black crime statistics. Whenever we're trying to talk about cops killing unarmed blacks, he just because cops killing blacks is not the biggest problem black people face. Neither is blacks killing blacks. It's there are other. Well, those when you see blacks killing blacks is a big problem, but it's separate from when the police kill unarmed blacks.
It's not separate. I think both of them, cops killing blacks and blacks killing blacks, are both symptom of one control system, which Alex Jones talks about. And Tim Wise talks about it to some extent, but doesn't really connect the two, and doesn't really connect with the eugenics.
Blacks killing cops killing unarmed blacks is completely different, because that's government sanctioned. That's actually state policy.
Well, you can say
when blacks kill black, when black people kill black people, and you have what we call crime. And look, in America, you go to Germany, right, and take a look at the inner city neighborhoods and the poor neighborhoods. You're going to find a lot of North African, Tunisian, Moorish, not black,
really? Well,
and
I've been to Germany, so yeah,
and Turkish people that are in the ghettos. In America, it's black and Hispanic. So in the poor areas, blacks are killing blacks because the area is poor. Yes, there's a system involved, blah, blah, blah. But what is supposed to be the protector from the black person killing the other black person? It's supposed to be the police, the government. But when the government is killing black people and they're also getting away with it with impunity, when they're not even being prosecuted for it, that's different than crime. That's different than socioeconomic crime. See, black on black crime is socioeconomic crime. Black on black crime is common because blacks are segregated and hoarded into ghettos where they all live together, where there's entire black neighborhoods, so there's only other blacks to kill. There really isn't any other white people there. A Korean store owner will get killed. A Hispanic person will get killed. But it's mainly black on black crime because blacks and whites rarely live together in the same neighborhood in America. America is racially segregated, not by anything legal, but by socioeconomic class for the most part. So that's why you have blacks killing blacks. It's socioeconomic crime.
Exactly.
Police.
Here's the thing.
Police brutality is different. Police brutality is different than that. So
it's different. It's different. Here's the thing. It's different when a cop kills a black person as opposed to when a black person kills another black person, because the cop will probably get off, or there won't be an investigation or something like that. We get that. But why are so many cops in the black neighborhoods? It's because they are ghettos. It's because they put
that's because it's a high crime area.
They put the cops into the black neighborhoods to run them. So there will be more black people getting shot by cops, justified and non-justified.
I work
the socioeconomic situation imposed, the ghettoization imposed on the black people. So
listen to me. I'll give you insight. I work for the city. I'm a garbage man. You know that already. I work for the city of New York. Okay, the city employs garbage men, also employs firefighters, also employs cops. We're run similar in the sense that our departments are all run by seniority. I have low seniority, so I live in Staten Island, but I have to work in Brooklyn because I don't have the seniority to transfer into Staten Island. When a cop comes out of class, that kid, that Kai Gurley that got killed in the pink houses by that Asian cop who's now going to jail, that cop was a rookie. More often than not, it's the rookie cops that are in the ghettos that are shooting, that are letting their guns off, that are killing people. Because when you get out of the academy, you don't have a choice where to go. It goes by seniority. The senior cops that have time on the job don't want to deal with the black ghettos. They like a nice cushy spot in a rich area in Queens or Brooklyn or Staten Island or the North Bronx. So they put the rookies in the ghetto who are trigger happy, who are scared shit, because they probably – a lot of cops never even been to a ghetto before until they got on the force, and that's what happened. Well, at least in New York, that's how it works. I don't know how it works in Baltimore.
That's how it works everywhere. That's the systemic problem of a big city police department in a ghetto zone.
Well, that's a big city police department in a ghetto, and you know what? You have like a guy like Daniel Pantaleo who grabbed Eric Garner and he had the chest problems, and then he died.
Yeah, hey,
he gets off scot-free. I don't think he works anymore, though. I think he had to quit.
So those incidents are going to increase when you have a ghettoized population, and then you send cops in there. So they are both part of the same problem. They're both into the same root. A route which will be made worse by the Black House operations.
Well, you won't have the riots and the protests if the police officer is liable for the killing. Like the problem that people have is the problem that ultimately people have, is particularly black people, is when the cop kills a black person that's unarmed and there's suspicion involved, the cop gets off. They get a desk duty and then they go back to work, and they have to deal with that same cop in the neighborhood who just killed an unarmed black kid.
Yeah,
that's the problem that people have. That's different than black on black crime. It's the government sanctioned violence. That's the government sanctioned violence. That's the government that's supposed to look. Black people are citizens and they vote for their own politicians. That's government. The black people go to the government for their protection, for whatever they need, because they have a voice and they get taxed. And when that government says it's okay for cops to kill unarmed black people and get away with it, that's when the riots start. That's the problem. If a cop kills an unarmed black person and then they get fired, or they go to jail, or they're held for criminal negligence or something like that, or involuntary manslaughter, you won't see that much. You'll still see an outrage. Why are these cops killing unarmed black kids, 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds that all have a gun on them? You'll still see that rage and that anger, but the cops are going to jail for it. See, I talk to a lot of cops. I know a lot of cops. Okay, and cops in New York are, I'm not going to patrol now. I'm not going to take my gun out. I'm not going to help anybody. I can't even pull my gun.
What's happening in New York? There's people are pissing and shitting everywhere. There's people getting slashed.
No, that's not what's happening. You don't even know what the fuck that is. That pissing and shitting everywhere, dude. That's not that whole thing. I had arguments with that too. That's not what that is. They're not going to prosecute public urination in the same criminal manner as they were, because it's tying up the courts. There's so many people.
Right, yeah, but there seems to be a general increase in crime, and it's happening across different communities. So there's definitely anger.
Well, crime has been down year by. Listen, you know what's funny? Crime has been down year by year. Stop and frisk comes out when crime was already on its way down.
Yeah,
and a judge shot down stop and frisk, rightfully so, because it is unconstitutional. You can't just stop you can't stop anybody, American or illegal immigrant, and search them for no fucking reason. It's unconstitutional.
Yeah.
When that, all of a sudden you started seeing the New York Post, which is a shitbag fucking conservative rag. Oh, crimes have gone.
Yeah. It's, well,
I'm like, what do you want to do to stop crime? Like, so files, and I would really want this to happen on my heart. They're trying to pass a law to forcefully castrate people who are convicted of child rape. In my heart, I would love that in my heart, but in my brain, I know that sets a precedent. You can't just castrate somebody against their will just because they were convicted of child rape. That
Yeah.
as much as I would love to take the scissors to some fucking pedophile's balls myself, that's just me thinking emotionally. I have to take a step back and think with my brain and think rationally and say, wait a minute.
yeah.
Although this sounds good, this sets a precedent. Stop and frisk would set a precedent. Stop and frisk by itself is already unconstitutional.
Yeah. So yeah, there are big problems. It's just that Black House, those operations, and they are operations, piggybacks on those problems. So that's all I'm addressing and dealing with. And Trump's support for the police is against those Black House operations. So that's why he's good. And
I'm not. I wasn't even talking about Trump. I don't even care about Trump.
Right, I know. I just brought it back to him. And the InfoWars people kind of went and exposed what was going on in Ferguson. How
Trump is not
criminals.
No, Trump is not the concern that I'm talking about when I'm talking about this whole thing with stop and frisk and cops. I'm talking about the black on black crime and the government.
Yeah,
saying
but
people seem to not understand.
InfoWars will not separate the two necessarily. He'll say this is coming. It's all from the same problem. This is a ghetto system. That's how it runs. You got the cops killing people on one side. You got the criminals killing people on the other side. That's how ghetto runs.
No, but see, I see how they spin it because I've read the article and I see how Paul Joseph Watson. Oh, think blacks aren't violent? Think again. Here are the stats: black on white crime, and they're trying to paint black people as this like violent group, like, and it's like black people are violent, they commit crime, and it's like
it's painting the real crime problems.
But it's not telling the whole story. It's they're trying to pass this agenda that black people are the problem, and it's like you blame white people. You blame white people, but look, black people are killing each other. It's like, dude, there's so many systems and factors and variables involved in that. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about it.
They do talk about it, though. That's the system of black people being hoarded into ghettos and killing each other. So they're either addressing it or they're not addressing it. Bernie's either stupid or he's smart. You know, I mean, and so when you're pointing out that black on white crime is much higher than white on black crime, and most police shootings of blacks are indeed justified, then you
are they justified? What do you mean? What do you mean most are they justified though? What do you mean? How do you know most police shootings?
Well, a lot of the reports come out and they seem justified. And you can't believe everything you see in the media, but there seems to be
police lie. Police lie a lot.
Shootings.
How many times have police got caught lying? What about that guy in Jersey? The guy
I'm saying, but the general. I know they get caught lying. I know there's a lot of dishonesty, but in general, there are a lot of criminals who get shot, and they get shot for a reason, for putting themselves at risk. Every situation's different, but it's not InfoWars trying to paint black people as inherently criminal. It's saying this is where the real crime problem is at. It's not that it's a Negro trait. It's that's the real problem. That's the real symptom of the ghettoization, which is what they're pointing out in, what's going on in Europe, is that this problem's happening. And so, maybe it's partially the fault of Islam, the economics of where the people are coming from, but the problem's happening. And you got the high level elites saying, bring these people in, knowing it's going to create social disorder, knowing it's going to create backlash. So that's what
they're going to defend Paul Joseph Watson now. that what you're gonna do?
Well, no. Here's the thing. I will debate. I will
Check it out. Check it out, bro.
Huh? Can't hear you.
How about that, huh?
What?
Check it out, dude.
Hold on. Wait. What's this? Tamron Hall? What about her?
What are they talking about?
What, right? Is that right now? Trump attack ads? What? I can't see it.
There's your boy Michael Medved, bro.
Not my boy. I don't listen to anything he says. I don't even know what he says anymore.
This was on my. This one was on the TV.
What's funny is Tamron Hall. They were doing a piece the other day trying to paint Trump as racist, and they cut to a black guy at a Trump rally saying we got to end the racism, and that bitch looked like she was going to throw up.
I did see that though. That was funny.
That hardcore propaganda operative. That porch monkey for Bill Gates.
See, here's the thing. Trump can't be racist because he's a businessman.
I didn't. Well, yeah. I think Trump isn't racist.
I told you that already. I don't think Trump is a racist. I think he's using the racism to get his votes, and he's acknowledged it already.
Yeah.
And you acknowledge it.
I think he wants the votes of people who might be racist along with other things.
Well, because I told you.
Keeping the refugees out is a good policy since we have we have what they did in Europe. They're going to try what they did in Europe here. So you can't really argue for bringing in refugees. We know what they're going to do. Huh?
What did they try to do in Europe?
They are trying to cause complete chaos in Europe by bringing in hordes of people who are not refugees. They're calling them refugees. A lot of them are economic migrants from places other than Syria. They're from all over the place. And people like Peter Sutherland, who you don't care about, have basically outlined this policy. That is what's going on. So, and people see it. As dumb as they are, they see what's going on, and they see this sort of weird social justice warrior mindset going on in Europe, and people don't want it here. So you're going to have to give a better explanation to the people who want to vote for Trump.
Well, there are people who do want it here.
Well, yeah, but they, hey, they'll like it when their girlfriend gets caught in a back alley or something.
Well, their girlfriend can get caught in the back alley now.
Right, but see, there we go. That's the commie explanation. Oh, things are bad now, so we might as well make the problem worse.
No, you're trying to blame things on refugees. Refugees aren't here yet, and cops are raping women in the back of police cars.
Cops rape women, and cops rape women, and people get raped by other people on the street. I didn't say I was blaming refugees. If you have a rape rate, and then if you bring certain people in, that rape rate might rise, might it not? So you don't want to take the action to make that action rise. This is why you're not intelligent. Because you say, well, it's already bad, so we might as well take this action. But you're not factoring in that action might make the rate worse.
I'm not saying it's already bad, so we might as well. I'm saying you're blaming refugees for raping people. You got your own rape problem.
Right. But if you are going to make the rape problem worse, then you don't want to do that. Duh.
So don't bring people who are suffering from war.
Who says they're going to bring those people? Who says they're going to bring those people? Who is in charge of the refugees?
Well,
who has the final say? It's Obama.
Here's a contradiction. Here's where you contradict yourself. Trump doesn't want to bring the refugees in because he doesn't trust Obama. When he's president, he'd stop the refugees. But if he's president, shouldn't we be able to trust that refugee program now?
I don't think so. Well, his policy is that we shouldn't really be bringing refugees in anyway. He wants to create a safe zone in Syria because they're better off over there than over here.
Well, they're not better off over there if he's bombing the shit out of ISIS now, are they?
Well, he said he said he wants to create a safe zone.
How the fuck is he going to create a safe zone in somebody else's country?
Let Jordan have them.
Huh?
Let Jordan have them. Here's the thing. They're not all refugees in Europe. Those aren't all refugees. Those are migrants that are.
Okay, well, let Europe deal with that. We're talking about. We're talking about
same thing. Same elites, same Bilderberg people meeting. Gonna do it.
But if we elect Trump, Trump is not part of that crew. So when Trump is president, we should let the Syrian refugees in because now we can trust the system. Are you saying that if Trump was president, we still couldn't trust the system?
I think we could trust the system more if Trump is elected, but then it gets to be a matter of policy. Right now, we can't. I don't think it's a good policy to.
Well, the United States has been accepting refugees since before there was a United States. That's what this country is built on.
We have.
That's what this land is built. That's what the land of the free is built on.
I think we will do better if we create through diplomacy.
But it's not our position. You can create through diplomacy, but it's not. It's not our position to forcefully create anything by bombing the shit out of ISIS, is what Donald Trump says in his own words. The point is, if people want to come here for religious freedom, for asylum, then they should be able to come here. That's what this country is built on.
It's Muslims being brought here. It's not the Christians.
But if Donald Trump was in charge, then we could trust it, is what you're saying.
We could. Possibly some more. We could bring it. We could.
So then why don't you say that then? Why don't you say, hey, I want to vote for Donald Trump because then we can bring the Syrian refugees in.
Well, he's not for bringing in 100,000 refugees or whatever.
Why not? There's plenty of room.
We could take a few thousand, maybe.
How do you know what we could take in and what we can't?
Huh?
How do you know what we can take in and what we can't?
I'm saying what sounds good, you know.
Hundreds of thousands. Where do you get that number that sounds good?
You're pushing. They first said 10,000 here. Now it's basically up to 100,000. That's
but what are you using as a measurement to decide what number is good? Why is 100,000 bad but 10,000 is good?
Well, just kind of generally what they're pushing. If bad people are pushing 100,000 or 200,000 and it just keeps going up and up, then I'm saying I don't want that program. I know you're going to try and nitpick on this, so it doesn't really make sense when you think about it. But we could bring in some refugees possibly, but right now we don't want any of that. You can't have that if you are continuing to go after Assad, which Trump is not. So Trump has more credibility. If Trump said he wants to take in 10,000 refugees, he'd have more credibility because he's not going after Assad like Obama is.
If they're refugees, I don't care how many come here.
Well, and that's another thing is, who are we calling refugees? Because in Europe, you got New World Order people labeling everyone refugees, and they're not. They're people being brought in to cause massive social disorder, and they are pretty much upfront about that. So you can ignore that problem if you like.
European countries really aren't the melting pot that the United States has been since the very beginning.
I understand. Yeah, but we are run by the same people, so they're going to try to. We're more of a melting pot. That's right.
I mean, there are giant Muslim communities all over the country. I mean, Dearborn is one. I know you think Dearborn is one giant terror cell, even though I've been there.
I never said that.
You know what? A majority of those people in Dearborn.
Never said that.
I guarantee the education level of people in Dearborn.
You got a blowjob there. I know you got. I never said that. I never said it. If you want to bring refugees in, they should probably go to Dearborn. You know, just bring them there. I don't think we need to be bringing in tons of people anyway. I don't think we need to be having tons of immigrants anyway. Because I would rather we
Why not?
work. I would rather we work with countries around the world to fix their own problems so they are.
What if people still want to come here?
I don't care what race people. We're going to have immigrants every year. We're going to have immigrants coming here. That's fine.
Okay, so
but I would rather a situation in which there are less immigrants coming here because their countries are so great.
Okay. Well, what if they still want to come here?
Huh?
What if they still want to come here?
Then they can come here and go through a process, have a good process. Don't have a government that's saying, telling Border Patrol to stand down and just allowing floods to come through, because that's very reminiscent of what's going on in Europe, and you got the same people running it. So I know you're going to try and find racism under every rock and cranny, but it's not there. You're the racist.
Okay, so how am I the racist?
Well, I think you want to delude black people. So you delude Herman Holley. It's sad.
I worked with Herman Holley, and he just retired. I don't give that guy any opinions.
Yeah, okay.
I've never given that guy an opinion in my life.
Well,
He's had his opinions already. Matter of fact, I only brought him into the group because he kept posting things about politics on his news feed. He already had those beliefs, so I'm not diluting anybody. And how does that make me a racist, even if I was?
Well, I think if you want to delude black people and give them this massive chip on, and you want to continue.
So Herman Holly is a fan of Tim Wise. You blame me for him being a fan of Tim Wise.
I think you should teach him why Tim Wise kind of sucks.
But I don't think Tim Wise sucks in the way you do.
Well, I know, yeah, because he kind of he talks like you, and so you like that, and he talks about white supremacy, and he's got his kind of black accent on, and he's a goofball, and he never ever deals with eugenics. So I kind of get where his bread is buttered. He never ever talks about eugenics. So I mean, he needs to sell his books. Hey, good for him.
Does Donald Trump talk about eugenics?
He's talked about defunding Planned Parenthood, but here's the thing: Donald Trump doesn't hold himself up as a warrior against anti-black racism. He doesn't hold himself up as that. That's what
he holds himself up as a warrior of pro-white nationalism, though.
What?
He holds himself up as this hero for pro-white nationalism.
No, he doesn't. Well, no, he does. I think he holds himself up as nationalism, not white nationalism.
Well, I mean, the crowds are pushing black women around and kicking at
the crowds push everyone around. See, you're just so innately dishonest. The crowds push everyone around. Anyone who protests is going to get pushed around at a Donald Trump rally. Anyone. I mean, why do you think you can lie to me like that? It's so weird. They're pushing black women around.
So how is that a lie? They didn't do that. There's no video.
They push everyone around. They push everyone around. So it's not a racial thing. They push everyone around.
That's a real crazy.
Everyone around. Huh?
So so you want to vote for this guy who's attracting these crowds and people like to push people around? This is awesome, bro. This is the country that we're looking for.
Okay, hey. You can go after me for a guy who attracts people who push people around, but it's not that they push black people around. So you make your accusation, and then it's proven completely empty, and then you kind of move on to the next one.
Well, it's not completely empty. They did push a black woman around.
Right, but they push everyone around. They pushed a protester around. The protester happened to be black.
Well, I mean,
I'm not racially hung up like you.
I mean, yeah, they push a protester around. This is a guy who says the First Amendment's foolish, so why would they have any respect?
Okay, but now you're moving on from the racial thing. See, you have no train of thought. You just have separate clown cars. You see? Now, hey, people are gonna get pushed out of a rally if they're protesting. Is it against the First Amendment? In some way, it depends, case by case basis. But it's not racial. So your whole charge of white nationalism is totally empty. Tim Wise holds himself up as I am a warrior against white supremacy. I am on the side of black people, and he doesn't mention eugenics at all.
See, David Chen is this guy is just a little cunt.
Well, David Chen's confused a little bit.
No, he's just a cunt. He's just a little. I know these people personally.
But so are you. You know them probably because they're like you.
He's not. No, he's not.
You're a liar and a goofball.
There's a group. There's a Staten Island Libertarian Party group page. Austin Peterson said that Ron Paul hates America. That his views mean that he hates America. So I posted that article in that page because there's the Staten Island Libertarian Party themselves. They have meetings the second Wednesday of every month. There's a meeting tomorrow. I'm probably going to go if I can. I go there and I battle with those cultists. Everywhere I go, everybody's just in a cult. So I post this article in the cult page about Austin Peterson saying that Ron Paul. And then
hold on a second. Hey, Danny, I gotta go. It's been great. It's been real. It's been interesting. Gotta go.
Enjoy your cult.
Hold on. Yeah, enjoy your kids sucking your dick, faggot.